everybody, my name is Quinn. Welcome back to my channel. You may notice something different about the background. I got a new bookshelf. I'm so excited. Now what you see isn't probably what will stay there. It's probably going to change as new books are added over the next couple of months. So I probably will do a bookshelf tour for several more months, but definitely comment down below if you would like to see that. Today I am going to do my January wrap-up and my February TBR. January was a very successful reading month for me, mostly because the first week of January I was still on winter break, so I got to read a lot more than I usually do. In total, I read 5 books this month, which is a lot more for me than I usually do, but I would like to keep up with that number as the year goes on. The first book I read in January was The Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. If you watched my book haul for Christmas and my birthday, you will know that I got the complete Harry Potter series for Christmas. I've never read it before. I'm trying to read 1 book a month until July, but overall I really loved this book. It brought me back to my childhood and a sense of magic and Hogwarts and everything. It just felt so nostalgic to read this again. 5 out of 5 stars, clearly. The second book that I read in the month of January was Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I talked a little bit about this in my Christmas book haul, but overall I really enjoyed the novel. I found it very entertaining. I loved the characters and their relationships to each other, but I will only give it 4 stars because I did feel the world was a little underdeveloped, but that's kind of to be expected when Rainbow Rowell writes mostly contemporaries. But overall I really enjoyed this novel, and now I just have to wait for the next Rainbow Rowell book to come out. The next 2 books I read were for my Literature of Extreme Situations class, where basically we examine how characters react to societal, personal, and political extremes. The first book I read for class was a reread. It was Hamlet by William Shakespeare. I really don't feel like giving this a star rating because it's the 3rd time I've read this book in my educational career, and I don't really hate it and I don't really love it. The second book I read for class was Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I really don't know how I feel about this book. I really liked the plot and I loved the chapters from the creature's perspective, but I wasn't too thrilled with the structure of this book. If you've read it, you know what I'm talking about, so I think that I would give it 3.5 stars out of 5. The 5th and final book that I read this month was Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. This story follows Etta, who is thrust into a world of time travel led by Nicholas. And I don't want to give too much away, but the book is full of adventure and pirates and obviously time travel through a variety of different eras. Now I am going to do a full review of this book on my channel, but I'll just give you my general opinions. I rated this book 4 stars. While I really enjoyed the plot, I feel like I couldn't always connect to the characters, but that was kind of made up for by that this book really tries to tackle some heavy topics like racism and feminism, and I thought that was something you don't always see in YA novels. Now I'm going to move on to all the books that I plan to read in the month of February. The first book I plan on reading in the month of February is for my literature class, and that is Time Machine by H.G. Wells. Basically, this is one of the first books that deal with time travel. It was written in the late 1800s, and I'm really excited to read this, especially after reading Passenger, and kind of see how the idea of time travel has changed over the years. One of the books that I would really like to read in the month of February is Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. I really enjoy the synopsis of this book. It has to deal with 2 witches. One is a truth witch, and one witch can see the bonds that tie people, and together they have to fight the witch world as there is a witch war going on, and all of these different witches want their powers because they're very rare and very powerful. And I'm really looking forward to reading this book in the month of February. The next book I want to read in February is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling. As some of you may know, I want to read 1 book a month until July, and then I can say I've read the Harry Potter series, which is something I've never been able to say before. Now the last book is a book that I'm really ashamed to say that I haven't read, and I'm almost embarrassed to show it to you all. And that book is City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. Yes, leave your hate comments down below. How haven't you read this book, Quinn? When this book came out, I got it on the very first day, but I think part of myself wasn't ready for this series to end, so I just put it off, and I put it off, and I put it off, until I really can't put it off anymore, because Lady Midnight is coming out in March, and Lady Midnight is the series that follow City of Heavenly Fire, and I know there's going to be some spoilers in that book that has to do with City of Heavenly Fire, so I have to do it. I have to prepare myself emotionally to read this book and for the series to come to an end. And then I can finally watch book talks about it because I've been avoiding a lot of the Shadowhunter community for like the past year because I don't want to be spoiled. So yeah, that is all the books that I read in January and everything that I plan to read in the month of February. As always, if there are any books that you want me to read, please feel free to comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye guys!